What up, guys? Show starts in 4 minutes. And I agree, Clifford. They need this win badly. And then they need to beat the Lakers twice badly. Not going to be easy. Thanks, Deca. What up, Daniel? Mio's late, but what up, Mio? No one's late. Thanks, Deca. I forgot. You really committed here. Blessings. I still would like him to come back the very next game, but I appreciate the donation.
What's it, $2 every time?
Yeah. Daniel remembered. I'm hopeful. Normal play against the Lakers. Thanks, Mio. How's Norman doing? Well, he's not playing, so not good enough. I don't even know if we had a media scrum with Coach Lue. Because Law's not there.
No.
All right, guys. We're starting here. Day 146 of Clippers Talk. Welcome into Clippers Countdown. Is your 31-26 LA Clippers are in Chi-Town, and I'm not going to shy away from it. They need a victory in Chicago against a 23-35 Bulls team that has lost 6 of their last 7 in order to return to LA with at least one victory in what has overall been a disappointing post-All-Star break road trip so far. And if the Clippers don't want to backslide into the play-in tournament where anything can happen, they better find a way to win in the Windy City, or else we'll be talking about some more headwinds going against this Clippers ship, because things aren't going to get any easier this weekend with 2 games against the Lakers now with Luka Doncic at crypto. So I cannot overstate the importance of this contest. And with Kawhi back, there's really no excuses. This Clippers team has to find a way and start to build a little bit of momentum with just 25 games left here in the regular season. They need to reestablish who they want to be the rest of the year and come together and unite tonight. Tip-off from United Center between the Clippers and Bulls is just about 60 minutes away. Coming up, we got Coach Lue on the pregame show. Lob Murray of The Athletic will be here. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Tip-off just about 58 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, you're going to hear from the head coach, Tyronn Lue. But first, let's get out to your radio voice from United Center. That would be Carlo Jimenez, radio voice of the Clippers. What's up, Carlo?
Hey, Adam. How's it going? Nice hoodie. Looking good.
Thanks.
I'm good. I'm ready to rock here at the United Center. Hopefully we got another good one for this Clipper team looking to split the season series. They've won 2 in a row in this building, Adam. Hopefully they can make it 3.
If you guys didn't know, Carlo got me this beautiful blue LA Clippers hoodie that I'm wearing right now during Christmas. He was in the giving mood. Clippers have been in the giving mood. They've given away some victories here, unfortunately, to the opposition. They've lost 3 games heading into this one. Last time out, they were in Detroit Monday night, Carlo, and they lost 106-97 to the Pistons. I don't fault the effort. The execution obviously left something to be desired. They were just 11 of 41 from 3. And Bogdan Bogdanovic was just 1 of 12. This is a professional shooter out there that just had one of his off nights. It happens. He's got to play through it and find a way to get out of this funk, right?
I think, Adam, if you're the Clippers and if you're a Clipper fan and you're worried about Bogdan Bogdanovic going 2 for his, last 20 in his last 2 games, understand that he has shot more than 20 free throws in his NBA career, or three-pointers, I should say, and more than probably tens of thousands three-pointers in his basketball career. He's going to have slumps. Times are going to be tough for somebody like Bogdan Bogdanovic. But at the end of the day, Tyronn Lue trusts him to play. We've seen Ty have short leases with a lot of guys that is coming to the league, sometimes with the younger guys, sometimes with new vets. He trusts and understands the importance of somebody like Bogdan Bogdanovic for this Clipper team. It brings me back, Adam, to that story. I think I brought this up last game, but earlier in the season, for some reason or another, Ivica Zubac cannot make free throws to save his life. And he's shooting 40% from the free throw line. Ty was asked about it pregame, and he said, I'm not worried about it. Now, Zoo has made 50 of his last 57 attempts from the free throw line. And if Tyronn Lue's not worried about the misses from Bogdan Bogdanovic, neither should we. Clearly, this is someone who can make three-pointers, and 1 game, 2 games even, does not make him a bad three-point shooter.
This Clippers team obviously gets some firepower back tonight with Kawhi Leonard, but last game out, they were a little bit undermanned. Last couple of games, they've been shorthanded. No Kawhi, no Norman Powell. They struggled to score just 97 points against Detroit. And we saw at the end of that first quarter, Carlo, last 4 minutes and 20 seconds, they went without a field goal. And then from the end of the third to the start of the fourth, they went about 5 minutes without a field goal. Are these offensive struggles that can be easily remedied here by just having some more star power back tonight?
100%. And when we've seen it this season, when the Clippers are at full strength, Adam, they're able to have way more spacing on the floor. Sometimes it's not even the effectiveness of that star player. It's the fact that they are on the floor drawing the gravity and the attention that they require. And so for this Clipper team, when you think about bouncing back on the offensive end, a huge part of that is going to be having a full repertoire of your offensive options. Now, no Norman Powell in this one, but getting Kawhi Leonard back, last 2 games averaging 25 points a contest. The Clippers need his offensive spark. They need his offensive ability and his playmaking ability, Adam. Kawhi has been excellent at drawing attention and creating offense out of double teams that he's been forced into. It's interesting because it happens all the time in the NBA. The Clippers are dealing with it right now, and obviously at a time where they need to win some games. But anywhere you go, once a star player isn't playing, it's a trickle-down effect. Now, that doesn't mean I believe in trickle-down economics, but I do here in this situation, Adam, a trickle-down effect if you do not have your star player.
You know, there's a guy who scored 13 points last time out that isn't necessarily known for his scoring. And I felt like even in a couple of these losses over this 3-game losing streak, he has been phenomenal. I'm talking about Chris Dunn. Ooh. His defense in that game against Detroit and also the game against Milwaukee, the way he's able to lock guys up on the perimeter and just be a pest with all the steals he's been racking up over the last couple of weeks or last 5 or so games with the Clippers, phenomenal. Just an unbelievable performance again Monday night by Chris Dunn.
Yeah, and no surprise, Adam, you're right on the money. Since All-Star break, averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds, 40% from 3, 50% from the field. But the biggest number, he's got 20 steals in his last 5 games. He's averaging 4 steals a contest in his last 5 games. I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff from Chris Dunn. And when you think about the great defenders in the NBA, you think about guys who are long, who are physical, who have wingspans, where they can attack and get the spots. Chris Dunn does it with his mindset, his cerebral ability, and also just his belief that he's going to be the most aggressive and most disciplined defender on the floor every single night. It's fun to watch him really be a tone setter for this Clipper team, Adam. And the biggest thing for Chris, what's going to continue to be the X factor, is that three-point shooting, which has rebounded since the slow middle stretch of the season.
Clippers could use it tonight in Chicago, taking on the Bulls. Tip-off just about 52 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call, and up next, he's got his one-on-one conversation with the head coach in Tyronn Lue right here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. DJ Daniel West in the house. Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Tip-off is just about 50 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. It's Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up, we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, we got to head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam, here with head coach Tyronn Lue before the Clippers take on the Chicago Bulls. Coach, Patty got some minutes in the first half in the last game. I know when he came in, you guys talked about him being a vibes guy, but how can he contribute to the team on the floor?
Just be able to shoot the basketball. I think playing the game the right way. I think his pace of moving off screens, slipping out of screens, it's infectious. And so, like in that first half, him coming in the game, and you see all the guys up on the bench just cheering and happy for him because he plays the game the right way and he brings the right juice every single day.
Curious about Chris. I mean, he's not a guy with a long wingspan, but he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. What is it that makes him such a good player defensively?
The mindset. I mean, the athletic ability for, really, but the mindset every night that you want to guard the best player and you want to try to lock the best player down every single night. And with his physical ability, side to side, his hands, deflections, and all the things he brings, it starts with his mindset of wanting to be able to guard the best player every night.
Two more for you. You always have great trust in your players. Early this year, Zeus struggled from the free throw line. You said you're not worried about it. He's 50 for his last 57. Why is that the approach for you, always trusting these guys?
Yeah, you want to give your team confidence, no matter what. And so if guys are struggling shooting free throws, if guys are struggling shooting the three-point shot, just stand with them, just give them confidence to take the next one, And, like I said, Zoo, when he got here, was an 80% free throw shooter, so we knew we can get him back.
And last one, when you look at what's transpired the last 3 games, what's the biggest thing you guys are focused on for tonight's game?
On us. I think it's on us, about offensively, our spacing, our pace, getting to our next actions. And defensively, the same thing we've been talking about, rebound the basketball and transition defense. Like, we got to get back. We can't allow these teams to get easy baskets because our half-court defense is too good.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach Lue there pregame with Carlo Jimenez as the Clippers are in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Tip-off just about 46 minutes away. Coming up next, we're going back in time and Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Doubles. Tip-off is just about 44 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we'll get your player to watch. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind to December 7th of 1993. In theaters at the time was Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, along with Wayne's World 2. On the top of the radio charts was Meatloaf's "And I Would Do Anything for Love." And the Clippers were in Chicago taking on the Bulls, who were starting their first season without Michael Jordan, as he had just retired for the first time, but it was a Clippers star who stole the show.
Lots of contact and a nice shot by Danny Manning. 6-2, the Clippers are on the boards. Trailing by 4, Pippen splits the defensive, slam dunk. Manning gets it, he'll go to the free throw line. Pippen, another marvelous move. The hair the other way, all the way to the goal. No, followed by Vaughn is good. Steve Kerr for 3. Bingo! Jackson finds Danny. He waits and scores. Jackson all the way to the hole. Good job by Mark Jackson. Aguirre at long range against Pippen. Finds Harp in the paint, and he puts it in. Elmore gets it back. Manning, yes! Clippers run out. Manning all the way to the goal. Danny Manning running the court so well.
Great enthusiasm and spirit tonight.
Manning backs in against Pippen. Puts it in. Kukoc to tie it. Bingo! Watch out for Steve Kerr. Bingo! Manning forces it. Gets it. Wire for 3. Bingo! Jackson the penetration. The drive. The Manning saves it. Puts it up. Yes! Oh, what a basket!
Ralph Lawler there on the call. Now, the Clippers did end up losing 115 to 111, but Danny Manning had a career high with 43 points on 21 of 31 shooting. Manning, who of course was plagued by injuries in his NBA career, did have his most productive seasons as a Clipper, averaging 18 and 7 boards in his 7-year Clipper career. Clippers in Chicago, taking on the Bulls. Tip-off 41 minutes away. Coming up next, your player to watch. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Bulls from Chicago. Tip-off just 39 minutes away. It's Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come, you're going to hear from La Murray of The Athletic. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
oh, the Chicago Bulls missing some big men in this game. I'm looking at Big Zoo of your Los Angeles Clippers. Last 3 games, 20 points, 22, 13 points on just 11 shots against Detroit. Would like to see him get up a few more buckets there, but they especially need Ivica Zubac to be featured a little bit more because coming up this weekend, they're taking on a team that doesn't exactly have a dominant center in the Lakers. Maybe he can start to find his flow, his rhythm against Chicago in this ball game today. Just want to see him go out there, play with force. And if you got to demand the basketball at times, they're not getting it to you. Do so, Big Zoo. You're a made man. One of the best players on this team, one of the most impactful players on this team, one of the most underrated players in the game today. But we know this Clippers team without Big Zoo, especially defensively, completely different ball club, how important he is to this squad. And I want to see him finish off this road trip in Chicago strong. Clippers coming back to LA. We'll be at Crypto for 2 Friday and Sunday against the Lakers. But they're tipping off against the Bulls just about 37 minutes from now. My player to watch, Ivica Zubac. Up next, your complete injury report here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Bulls from Chicago. Tip-off 35 minutes away. Coming up, we got La Murray of The Athletic, but first, your injury report brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For the Clippers, you got some guys in the G League, and Jordan Miller, Kai Jones, Trenton Flowers, and Cam Christie right now, and still no Norman Powell. He's out with that left patellar tendinopathy. As for the Bulls, Zach Collins is available. So is Kevin Huerter. They will be without Emmanuel Miller and Jalen Smith in this one. Clippers searching for a victory. Can it be called a must-win game? Because there's 25 games left. I don't know if it's technically a must-win game, but it is one the Clippers need to have. It is a necessary victory against a struggling Bulls team. They got to find a way tonight with Kawhi Leonard back. You didn't hear his name on that injury report. Clippers got to figure it out at United Center and stop this 3-game losing skid. Tip-off just 33 minutes away. Up next, we got La Murray from The Athletic right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Tip-off just 31 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard and then Carlo Jimenez. But first, from The Athletic, it is the man of mystery, La Murray on the phone line with us now from The Athletic at La Murray. The NU is where you find him. What's up, La? How we doing?
I'm a lot warmer. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, so not in Chicago. Okay, we're good. We're good. Just so everybody knows.
I got a feel for it. You know,
not the windy city. La Murray's back with us in LA. I hope to see him at Crypto on Friday and Sunday. But tonight, the Clippers, I don't know if you want to call it a must-win game, La, but they need a get-right game. They need a figure-it-out type of game. How big is this one for the Clippers against Chicago? Because I got to be honest, while a lot of people started panicking over the last couple of games, this would be the one that would worry me if they somehow lost it.
I mean, I'll say this: they all matter. They're all must-win games. Like the standings matter as far as watching those standings every single night now. So The Clippers are top 6 right now by 2, thousandths of a point. That's how close things are in the West on a night-to-night basis. So they've already lost a home game to the Bulls. The Bulls roster is a lot different. The Clippers are actually stronger. They're going to have Kawhi. Zoo didn't play in the January meeting. He'll play tonight in Chicago. And Ben Simmons will be available. So you have almost your full roster. You don't have Norm, but you have everybody else. And you have the urgency that comes with not just trying to win this game before you sleep in your own bed, but just, you need to be able to go into this mini series with the Lakers with some kind of momentum. So yeah, it's not just about winning. It's about playing the kind of basketball that you can actually think is sustainable for the much, much more important games ahead.
Well, I know it's never one thing, and health, of course, has been an issue, and that explains some of what's going on over the last 3 games. But in your mind, what's the biggest reason they've dropped the last 3?
Defense, to be honest with you. I mean, everyone's going to point to who's not playing. I see guys who are playing who just haven't been as locked in as they need to be on the defensive end. And that's what you saw when they blew a 13-point lead against the Milwaukee Bucks. They fouled Damian Lillard too much. They go to Indiana, a team that how they play as far as their pace, their pick and roll, just everything that they do as far as making teams uncomfortable. And they were never really in that game after the first quarter. And then it was always going to be hard to beat Detroit. And I thought that they just weren't able to make the same plays that the Detroit Pistons were able to make. I thought the biggest sequence was they call a timeout, they come out of a timeout, and they take the ball away in the backcourt. They get beat in transition. They foul, and T. Lue burns a challenge trying to get that foul overturned. So it's just a matter of these are slim margins. Do everything that you can to eliminate that and see where things go from there.
In that loss to Detroit in Detroit on Monday night, Bogdan Bogdanović went 1 of 12 from 3. You talked to him post-game in the locker room, Law. I thought he was pretty forthright and upfront about, the shooting issue going on right now. And he pointed to his head and said, it's all up here. Like, in your experience with athletes, is there a way to remedy that? Is there a way to get out of that funk? Does he just need one game or a couple of shots to fall and it can all turn around for him?
I mean, one game is nice. He had a nice game. He made 4 threes in Milwaukee, and then he missed, 18 of 23s in the back-to-back in Indiana and in Detroit. So for Bogdan, yes, it would be nice to get him going, and tonight's a good opportunity to do that. The Chicago Bulls are one of the softer defenses you're going to find, especially this version of the Bulls. For Bogey, he knows what it is. He's a professional shooter. He's a guy who's made tough shots, big shots on multiple continents. Like, that guy is someone who's going to figure it out. On the flip side, look at his shooting numbers for the season. It's not just, this past week or so or his debut with the Clippers. Like, he's had a rough year shooting the basketball and finding his offense consistently all year. So hopefully he can get it going tonight. But again, just like I say with the Clippers as a team, it would be nice to get it going, but they need something where you can say, hey, you're going to play this way consistently after tonight as well.
Because you've been in the locker room since this downturn and all season long, what's the level of frustration that you have sensed from the players? It seems like James Harden, notably, when I look at some of the video with you talking to him post-game, he seems definitely frustrated right now with what's going on.
There's frustration, but there's also, this is not the worst I've seen the team as far as their morale and everything. I thought that their morale was in a worse place back in November when they had that 3-game losing streak. This is a 3-game losing streak where they've been shorthanded. They're playing good teams. They're on the road. They're coming out of All-Star. They made a lot of transactions that now you're got guys who have not played together in games. And I know they've had some practices, but again, having practices at this time of the year and being shorthanded can only do so much. So there's a level of understanding. There's a level of, okay, what's different between the Chicago Bulls and the previous 3 teams? Well, the previous 3 teams are top 6 in the Eastern Conference. Chicago is fighting for a play-in spot. So the quality is different. Your roster is as strong tonight as it was really at any point on this trip. Obviously, Kawhi coming back, we'll see what he looks like. We'll see what Ben looks like. But, you're in a better spot tonight than you were in the back-to-back. And there's urgency tonight. So I think that, they want to win. But at the same time, there's an understanding of where they are. And you got to just take it a game at a time. And tonight's their next opportunity to be better.
You mentioned Ben Simmons there. What have you seen with how they've used him so far in certain positions where he's looked good? What have you seen that you've liked, and what do you see that, okay, Coach Lue is tinkering here, and I'm not sure if this is going to work? Just what's the experiment been in your mind so far with Ben Simmons?
I wish that there was just more consistency with who he's playing with. You just don't see it. Ben played 3 games. The first game, he didn't play with Kawhi. The second game, he played with Kawhi, but without Norm. Obviously, that first game in Utah, the one they won, that's the last time we saw Norm. And then he plays in Indiana without either Norm or Kawhi. And the whole thing with Ben is he can play a number of positions, but he can't do everything. He limits Ben being on the floor. You got to consider who's going to be on the floor to kind of give him advantages that he's not going to create by himself. The advantages that he'll create is he can defend multiple positions. He will accelerate as soon as he gets a rebound or a turnover. He plays hard. He's smart on both ends of the floor. Like, he makes the right pass and he can make the right defensive play as well, especially when it comes to getting steals. But I think that playing him with Norm, playing him with Nico Batum, I think those are critical for him. I'm not convinced yet that he can play with Ivica Zubac or Drew Eubanks. And I'm willing to change that when I see a good stretch. I've seen some people suggest that he should play more without James and to let Ben just have the ball in his hands and direct everything. It's like, you gotta have guys who will put the ball in the basket. Ben's not going to be that player. And there's a lot of guys on the Clippers. Again, if you're playing Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn at the same time, there's not a lot of guys who are confidently putting shots up. And so the main thing with Ben is really simple for me, is get him on the floor with shooters, space, and let him attack from there.
You mentioned defense being an issue over the last 3 games during this 3-game losing streak. It definitely hasn't been for one guy. Chris Dunn out there, to me, Law, has been unbelievable. The third quarter against Milwaukee comes to mind. The entire game against Detroit on Monday. Like, I can't say enough about the way this guy just locks you up in ways that, I don't know, it looks like he's been transplanted or thrown in from a different era or something like that. The heart, the hustle that he plays with out there. What can you say about Chris Dunn and just the way he's looked?
Man, he's just an incredibly. If there's one guy I don't really worry about when it comes to focus, it's him. He is smart. He plays tough. He's physical, and I mean, he's just he. If you can just tell, he pays attention to his opponent's tendencies. Some of the steals he's getting, it's not like the ball is just falling in his lap. Like, he's basically guessing correctly on what's happening. I saw a steal in Detroit Monday night where, I think it was Cade trying to post up Amir Coffey around the elbow, and Chris goes and intercepts the thing. Like, he's just really good. He has great hands. He has great anticipation. And even at, his age, he's still pretty damn athletic. He's still able to keep up and use his feet to stay with his assignment. And so you hear Tyronn Lue is just thrilled with having Chris. The steals are one thing, but it's not just steals. Like, he makes a ton of plays regularly during a game that aren't going to be counted in the box score, but absolutely go towards your defense having a chance out there. So Derrick Jones Jr. is a lot like that, but Derrick doesn't quite have the hands, the ability to just consistently pick guys off that Chris does. And if Chris is going to be as aggressive as he was offensively, I love the way he played Monday night. If nothing else, it was a damn shame that they couldn't reward Chris with a dub with the effort that he put forth, especially in the first half of Monday night's game.
Yeah, even at 13 points also. Just 2 more for you here, Law, quickly. Where are we at on the claw the Kawhi Leonard checklist in his return? Because of this setback, do some things restart? Are we going to see him play less minutes tonight? Like, how far away are we from seeing him play, where he hits the gas a little bit and gets back to that all NBA level?
Well, I think that's next month. I think March is a huge month. Obviously, the first game of March will be that second game in downtown Los Angeles. And so I'm not concerned about Kawhi's foot. Like he suffered an injury in game. He practiced. He missed the back-to-back. He's playing tonight. He didn't even miss a week of games. So I think that him playing consistently is what you want. He obviously hasn't had as great a February, but I think that the bigger key is, can he play really well in March? Like, that is a full month of games that's more or less going to determine whether the Clippers are in the play-in tournament or not. And it's always good when Kawhi's playing. Like, he's going to play his 17th game of the season tonight. You just hope that whatever happens, it comes with a win and with health. And so the checklist remains the same. Came back to practice in December, came back to game action in January. Hey, he's gone through a lot as far as the minutes increase, getting through the foot, getting through the All-Star break, getting out the All-Star break. He's on the floor tonight. March is the month where he has to play at a higher level than he has for this team to remain in the top 6 in the West. It's going to be it's a very interesting group of games, and the best part about it is Kawhi is back. And I would anticipate Norman Powell, not reporting here, but no one's expressed any concern about Norm being out long term. So the hope is that he'll be back at some point soon as well.
Well, you have great anticipation like Chris Dunn as well, because that was going to be my next question, but I'll take that as a positive and run with it. He's Law Murray of The Athletic. At Law Murray, the NU is where you find him. Law, thanks for doing this once again on the pregame show. I appreciate you. We'll see you in LA this weekend.
Hey, thank you. Enjoy the games, everyone.
Coming up next, as we are just about 17 minutes away from tip-off, Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. We'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Yeah. Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Tip-off just 15 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Still to come, we'll get back to Carlo Jimenez. But first, your drive around the league. It's brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. End of the first quarter in D.C., where the Wizards are up on the Blazers. Make it the Blazers up on the Wizards. I should have just guessed that. 34-27. Shaedon Sharpe has 12 points in the first 12 minutes. Right now in New York, Knicks up 35-24 on the non-podcast P Philadelphia 76ers. Kelly Oubre does have 12 already, but it would be Mikal Bridges with 19 of the Knicks' 35 points as they just started the second quarter. Tie ball game early on in Indiana at 28 between the Pacers and Raptors. And if you didn't know the Pistons were good, they're up 43-31 right now in Detroit over the Boston Celtics. Malik Beasley with 12 points already to match Jason Tatum's 12 points, but they lead by 12 right now. Pistons over the Celtics midway through the second quarter in Detroit, where the Clippers were at on Monday. Clippers in Chicago tonight taking on the Bulls. Tip-off 12 minutes away. Up next, back to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Chicago taking on the Bulls. Tip-off 11 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we got your keys to victory. But first, back out to United Center in Chicago with your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. So, Carlo, this Clippers team, they get Kawhi Leonard back. I hope that can cure a lot of what ails them, because he did have 25 in both of his last two games with the squad.
Yeah, he's been playing well before that left foot injury, Adam, shooting 44% from the field, 43% from the three-point line. One thing that really interested me, Adam, that I went and looked at is you talked about, and you have talked about, that game against Denver, right? And Kawhi Leonard, that being the turning point for Kawhi Leonard. So I looked at the minutes. How many minutes had Kawhi played after that game? He played 500 we're having 540 minutes after that game. So that's where he turned the corner. He's at 422. So you're looking at 120 minutes left for Kawhi to get to full strength. I mean, I don't know. This isn't exact science. I'm just trying to figure out some sort of way to look at this ramp-up process, and I feel like maybe that could be one way to look at it so far as of now for the Clippers. So you think about Kawhi getting his legs underneath him. Glad to see him back off the injury report, ready to go for this game. It'll be interesting to, and we'll describe it as it goes on, Adam, but how many minutes does he play? Is he on a new minutes restriction? Is he back to 32 minutes a game? Tyronn Lue was not asked about that pregame, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll relay what we see in the box score throughout this contest. But the biggest thing is he's just going to open space for this Clipper team. They are going to have more room to operate, and hopefully Kawhi can continue to be that lethal weapon for this Clippers offense.
I like that minutes investigation you just did right there. I think there could be something to that. I'm with it, my guys. Wicked smart over here. Let's talk about Nico Batum, who knocked down 3 3-pointers in that game in Detroit. I thought maybe you could have played more minutes later on, but it almost seemed like they're trying to save him because he played heavy minutes during the Olympics for Team France. I think he led them in minutes during that run. This is a guy that's 36 now, and I still feel like he could be an ace in the hole in a playoff series where you could start him at power forward if you needed to put Kawhi at the 3. Like, he could be a secret weapon for them. So I'm hoping, and I like what I'm seeing right now from him from 3, and I think he's shooting 39% on the season, but they can continue to preserve him as much as possible.
Is 11th in the NBA in games played among active players, and he plays every summer over in France. So you think about the amount of games on his legs. He'll tell you he's a 19-year vet, even though it's only 17 years in the NBA, because he played 2 years of professional basketball overseas. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Nico Batum is somebody who can be a key player. Also, shout out the Skeleton Key. Bones Highland getting a 2-way win Minnesota. Love to see Bones continuing on in the NBA. But he could be a key player for this Clipper team, a keystone piece down the stretch when you think about his ability to knock down big shots at him and also his experience in big moments. If you have not yet, please go watch the Court of Gold documentary to understand what Nico Batum is like as a leader off the floor. While he hasn't had many of those rants here as a Clipper, he was talking to Brian Seaman earlier and told Brian he's had one of those type rants with the Clippers. He is a true leader in the Clipper locker room. He is a voice they lean on, and I'm sure, Adam, the Clippers will be looking towards him come crunch time to try to figure things out. So I'm with you. Nico Batum's greatest impact will come in the postseason for this Clipper team, but you're seeing little sparks of it throughout the regular season.
You know, another international guy in Patty Mills knocked down a couple of threes in that game versus Detroit. He looked very comfortable out there. I wonder if we start to see a little bit more of him. If they continue to struggle from three, maybe they break glass in case of emergency and unleash Patty Mills here and there.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I thought it was interesting talking to Tyronn Lue about Patty's impact, and Ty saying, yeah, you saw the whole bench get up. Everyone got excited. He understood that Patty's impact on the floor, a 3 almost counts as 2 because of the morale it gives the rest of the group. There's this real boost of love and energy around somebody like Patty Mills and his ability to help this group out night in and night out off the court, and then sometimes on the court continue to get big shots. Patty Mills, we brought it up on the broadcast center, but he is 3rd in the NBA in bench 3-pointers made all time behind Kyle Korver and the great Jamal Crawford. And so for Mills' ability to be able to hit shots off the bench when he's cold, that's what he does. That is, he doesn't need to get to the free throw line. He doesn't need to shoot a mid-range jumper or get to the layup. He can shoot a 3 cold off the bench. That's where he feels comfortable. And the Clippers need that, especially with no Norman Powell for the 4th straight contest. You're going to need 3-point shooting anywhere you can get it.
All right, Carlo. So Big Zoo had 13 and 15 in 37 minutes last time out, and I think they lost the 11 minutes without him by 17 points. We know how vital he is to this team. He is my player to watch in this one against Chicago. Who are you going with?
Look, Adam, well, first of all, that's a great question. I'm going to go a former Bull here. I think Derrick Jones Jr. has a great game for the Clippers. He has played 2 seasons. I know Chris Dunn also played 3 seasons here, but Chris Dunn's been playing so well that almost feels like too easy of a pick for my player to watch. So give me Derrick Jones Jr. Spent 2 seasons here, 115 games. Somebody who's been shooting the ball well this season, a career high from the three-point line. I think we see 3 or 4 threes from Derrick. I think he makes some big shots for the Clippers tonight.
I like that. Had 15 on Monday night and really had a couple of sequences that were big in that third quarter with multiple throwdowns. It looked like he and James Harden were talking about running a play going into a timeout. And then they executed a couple of lobs to DJ who got up high. So this will be an exciting one. Him back in Chicago. Clippers taking on the Bulls. Carlo Jimenez is on the call from United Center. Tip-off is just about 5 minutes away, and coming up next here on Clippers Countdown, we got your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Bulls from Chicago. Tip-off just moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Well, while the Chicago Bulls have been struggling, they've lost 6 of their last 7 games. They did win their last game where they put up 140 points on the Philadelphia 76ers. And here's something they do well. They are 3rd in the league when it comes to made threes per game at 16. They shoot 37% from the outside. They attempt 43 per game, and they knock down 16 three-pointers per game. The Clippers, after a long stretch where teams were on fire from the outside, shooting over 40%, about 11-game stretch. Well, their last 2, they've held opponents to just 32% from 3, granted in losses. But tonight, they got to hold the Chicago Bulls down because they put up enough where if they get hot, they can be troublesome. They can absolutely bury you from beyond the arc. Again, averaging 16 made threes per ball game. Here we go. Clippers, Bulls from United Center in Chi-Town, and Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off is next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.